To begin with my work in progress video, I want to discuss about Asavari Kumar's Festival of the Impossible project called A New Normal, which draws on her experiences communicating online with loved ones spread across the globe. A New Normal is a story about connection, hope, and warmth. An avid filmmaker and a lover of graphic novels and animation, Kumar combines her design and drawing skills with AR to bring this experience to life. Drawn to cross-cultural narratives, Kumar uses character-driven storytelling to parse her evolving cultural identity. Through her body of work, she hopes to generate a discourse surrounding ideas of belonging and find where her own narratives intersect with those of people around her. This work demonstrates the importance of pushing the boundaries of immersive media and how playful interactive augmented reality work can be so meaningful to players, especially in the theme of identity and the meaning of home, as sheltering in place and social distancing have challenged creatives and everyone in new ways. In the past 2 weeks, I have been animating, reiterating, and iterating new assets for my AR experience. Even though some of the assets are being reused in Folio 1, I still had to reanimate everything again because of the mesh problems I mentioned in the last work in progress video. For example, with the rice, all of the grains are cloned objects, and once I click make editable, the animation is gone. This is quite frustrating since I have to redo a lot of work, but also this process gives me a chance to be more playful with my animation. The objects in my AR scene include the mat rolling as the first step, the leaves laying down softly on the surface using bend effects, the rice being tossed dramatically, which is inspired by the traditional motion that Vietnamese people use to toss the grains, the bacon in the pot being seasoned with salt and pepper, and the reanimated sticky rice cake for compatibility from Folio 1. In addition to that, I also made these cultural assets as part of Illusion of Life to both explore different possibilities of movement and enhance the visual aspects. These include animated coins, the fan, exploring wind simulation, many iterations of flowers that resemble the firework, and iterations of cloud animation to achieve the dreamy floating motion of cloud. At the same time, I've been working on developing the AR experience with the help of my friend and also studio assistant, including importing these assets into AR in Unity and building the user experience. Throughout the process, we have come into the decision that we will let the user be able to place things in this AR environment, letting them set up their whole space by themselves, and then explore and interact with elements in the scene. At the end, being rewarded by elements of surprise and celebration. Counter element is added to suggest the user's steps and elements that are left to be placed, hence suggesting the next stage of exploration. The experience is divided into 3 phases. The first phase is setting up phase. Second is exploration phase, where users can walk around and tap into objects to hear sound and see the animation happen. I have added sounds into this water pot boiling object, but not yet to design sounds for the rest of the scenes. Third phase is celebration phase. A few bugs occur and took a while to be fixed. One of them is the materials UV mapping, since materials don't work properly because of the 2 softwares, Cinema 4D and Unity incompatibility. I still haven't found a solution to it, so the motion of the mat rolling out will have to be sacrificed until I figure that out. Issues like this sometimes makes me wonder if the process would be better all done in Unity, since I know that Unity is capable of creating good animation as well. Another big bug is the mat disappearing when the camera pans away, and the object is outside of the camera's view. This issue is caused by Unity not recognizing the rolled out mat as the final mesh, but the rolled up one instead. Following a few tutorials online, the whole animation in AR was broken, which was very frustrating. Thankfully, we discovered that in the Megafire plugin, there was an option called Recalculate Bounds that once toggled, the problem mentioned is solved. In the early iterations, the indicators of the next object users going to place appear and are intersected with the objects that the user just placed. Since the indicator is in the middle of the scene, this results in either of the placed object or about to place object blocking one or the other. The solution was to detect whether the user was pointing the camera at a placed object. If so, switch off the indicator, so the user couldn't place two objects on top of each other. We then have to make exceptions to the rules, for example like the mat, because we want users to be able to put other objects on top of the mat. The result is users can only place new objects when they pan the camera, or move around from the objects that they just placed in the middle of the screen. For the project inquiry part, I have come one step closer to the finalized inquiry, especially after a long discussion with my mentor, Uyên. I was pointing out all of the unique selling points that my project has gotten to offer, including the ability to set up your own scene and explore the environment. The sound and interaction provokes atmospheric feelings. Also, the audience might have a sense that they are stepping into the scene, because the objects within the scene are portrayed at full life scale. The keywords that are listed include AR, 3D animation, user experience, culture, and human food interaction. But still, I was hesitant to form my inquiry because I was afraid that the audience for it is quite small. I wonder if non-Vietnamese and other ethnicity will find my work relatable and interesting. Vietnam is so rich in culture and history. That's why I'm always intrigued, and as a digital designer with 3D knowledge, I always feel like I should utilize these rich resources and turn them into something memorable by bringing a new life to this cultural heritage. Maybe as a designer, I could help in the preservation of this cultural heritage in a form of digital art and in the digital era. This realization leads me to conduct a few more research on Google Scholar that relates to digital heritage, and I have found many interesting papers and practice-based research that highlight different aspects of this whole spectrum. I will discuss this research on the next reflective video, but for now I think my project inquiry has come quite clear. It's gonna sound like animating digital heritage in AR, an augmented virtual walkthrough to learn and explore cultural heritage. The next stage of my progress would include figuring out the interaction application in the scene, which can be fireworks or the magical particles, such as coins and fireflies. Also, the crucial part is gonna be adding sound design and finalize access material design. In the concept inquiry part, I also need to do more research in digital heritage field, seeing other insights from researchers and other practitioners.